Hello and welcome. Welcome to All Shorts on this rather windy but warm day. Now, I want to address some of the comments I've been getting in my videos. And anyone who's regular to the channel will know that I am not pro-Brexit. I believe it's the worst decision the country and the people of the country have ever made. I say the people, with the help of a little bit of influence from Putin probably, you know how it goes. But anyway, I hear please boop the whole like button. So anyway, I'll address these comments because they're, well, for me, as a British citizen who happens to reside in France, I find they're absolutely ridiculous, borderline stupid. Now, I am an individual, but I'm also an individual that happens to be within a family unit. Now, my family unit, part lives in France and part lives in the UK. And what happens to the UK affects my family in the UK, but also affects my family here in France. Period. But that's not the only reason why. You see, I had a business here in France as well. A nice growing business. I was making windows, doors, shutters, all sorts of stuff. Wooden products, architectural products here in France. And I was doing very, very well. Then we got the Brexit. And drip by drip, death by 1,000 cuts, I saw my business dwindle. Because my customer base was basically leaving the country, was leaving France. And there was no more influx of new British citizens coming to France. No, not to the degree it was before. You know, some people still returning even before Brexit, and some people were coming again. You know, there was a regular influx. And my business relied on new customers because it's renovations and stuff, you see. That's what my products were used for. Now, I know some people say, why don't you just work for the French and stuff? I do work for the French even now. In fact, I've got a job on at the moment. But there isn't enough. I'm in rural France, and many of the French don't actually want to buy old properties. They seem to like these little box houses, right? You know, very insulated, and I understand why, because obviously energy is expensive and stuff. And old houses like our old farmhouse there, you know, they ain't getting bought up like they were once before, because it was the British. And some of the Dutch and that as well. And, you know, I've done work for the Dutch, I've done work for Russians, I've done work for all sorts of people. Belgians, French, yeah, Spanish. Loads of different nationalities that moved there. But the core business, it dissipated because of Brexit. They were leaving, and I no longer got these new clientele. And as I say, it affected my business to a point where I got a little bit depressed about it. And that was probably what really, well, damaged the business even more in some ways, because I didn't really know what way to turn, because I wasn't earning enough money. I still don't earn enough money, you know. It made things difficult. Very, very difficult. So I do have a deep resentment for Brexit. I also have a fairly deep resentment for the people who voted for it. Now, even if you were hoodwinked, even if you feel that you were lied to because of the Brexit, you feel that they didn't tell you the truth, I'm sorry, I did my research of the effects of Brexit. I looked at or read through the preparedness notices by the EU, which pretty much warned what would happen. I read articles by the WTO, you know, members of the WTO, World Trade Organisation, and if there was a no deal, and you know, what could we expect from a Brexit, all that sort of stuff. It was obvious. You don't put barriers in the way and expect to have the same profit margins you'd have had before. You'll put barriers away and expect to have the same trade. You know, no, you just can't. It just doesn't work that way. So, yes, I am disgruntled about the Brexit. Yes, I'm disgruntled about how it's affected my family here and in the UK. And also I'm disgruntled the fact that they can no longer have the benefits that I did, for instance, me and my dear missus, being able to move to France, buy a property here. Yes, it was a renovation, what have you, that we'd done ourselves, but not a lot of money, you know. And now we've been able to have a lifestyle, a rural lifestyle with land, okay? and a nice farmhouse and barns and stuff like that, you know, and we can, we have a nice life here. And luckily, we were able to get yourselves registered here as, as residents, what have you, here in France, and it's okay now, you know, we're in reason. We still have our problems, you know, it's not easy earning money and what have you, and I tend to do more YouTube than I do anything else these days. But yes, so of course I've got resentment regarding the Brexit, of course I care about the effects of Brexit, and of course I care what happens to the United Kingdom, because it's not just about me. And you know what? I'm not selfish, and if you think I should be selfish and not care about what's going on in my home country, or group of countries, the United Kingdom, what have you, yeah, there's something wrong with you. There seriously is. Why wouldn't I care about the place I was born? That's stupid. Stupid is, stupid does, and putting that cross in that wrong box was stupid. And you have systematically, those of you who vote for Brexit, systematically damaged the place that you live. And all you want to do now is blame every other Tom, Dick and Harry for your own failing. Sorry, it's a bit of a rant, but that's exactly how I feel. And I keep getting these flippant comments, and one said, oh, you're a bit thin-skinned, touched a nerve and all that. I don't really care what you think, mate, I'll tell you. I just care more of the fact that the country's still got a whole load of idiots in it. And they are going to, cause the country's literal collapse, because it's full of people like that still. You know, it's just not going to work. There's no making Brexit work. No matter what Keir Starmer might say or wish for, he ain't going to get what he wants. No. Which means you won't get what you want. Which means the Brexit is never going to work, and nobody's ever going to be better off because of Brexit. It's just going to be the same old pain. Again and again and again. I know it sounds really negative, and you say, oh, crikey, you just got to believe. You don't. You just got to believe, they said. Oh, a load of bollocks. I don't believe in something that is clearly not going to work. I'm a practical man who makes stuff out of wood, and if I say it's not going to fit, and Brexit does not fit, well then it's not going to fit. No. Exchanging trade with your nearest trading partner, with potential trade that's on the other side of the world? Where is the logic in that? Now, yes, you could argue that we're already importing lots of stuff from Asia and places like that. They trade okay, but not with foodstuffs, and we've got a food security issue in the UK. That's why we import food from Europe, you know, from the continent, because it's closer. Oh yeah, we've got the Australian trade deal, they say. Yes, we've got the Australian trade deal. It's costing our farmers big time. They're losing out. Oh, we've got New Zealand trade deal. Oh yes, same thing again, New Zealand trade deal. We've also got a shitload of bloody pesticides and hormones been added into the antibiotics been injected into that meat, which isn't allowed in the EU, and that cuts us off from another European Union marketplace where we can't export our meat into the EU. Do you know what I mean? It's just like a knock-on effect, just like dominoes, you know? One by one by one. What happens when that last domino falls? Stupid analogy, I know, but it just feels like that. And the UK economy, you know, for the size of the country, was quite large, you know. It was 2.7 trillion, but we've got less profit margin. I keep saying that, but we have. We've got less profit in that. Less profit, less tax take, period. That's how it is, you know. And they talk about borrowing another 80-odd billion to top up the economy. You know? Okay, if they're going to spend that money on investment, infrastructure, whatever in the country, well, that makes sense. All we're doing is giving money out in subsidies to so-called foreign investors, just so they can buy NVIDIA chips from abroad, just so they can buy server racks from abroad, just so they can, heat up our waters. And I'm talking about the Amazon servers. Yeah, this goes on and on and on. The country's been bled dry, then we should be looking at more locally produced items, stuff that we can actually build ourselves, produce ourselves, support local economies. more small to medium enterprises and stop all this flip and buying up of small to medium enterprises into big conglomerates, and they end up charging you more money, and more money ends up in the Cayman Islands, etc, etc, etc. It's just mad. Brexit is absolutely mad. And I am a patriot of the country. I am. I live in France. So what? I live in France. I'm still a British citizen. Same as my family who lives here. They're still British citizens. Born and bred, you could say. It's mind-numbingly stupid. That argument to say, why do you care? Why do you care? Because you live somewhere else. That is so idiotic. When these people living abroad, they all have friends and they have families that they care about and they worry about. It's madness. But you know what it is, don't you? They're just trying to strike a nerve in people. Trying to, tell them they're traitors and stuff like that. I get that as well. It's got nothing to do about being a traitor at all. It's got nothing to do with the fact that I'm earning my money in France. I pay my taxes in France. I also pay taxes in the UK, I have, It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So there you go, there's my little rant. And if you think this Brexit is ever going to make your life better, it's not. It's not. We're in a situation now where we've got to mitigate. We've got to make the bad less bad. How? No one's come up with any answers. They have the words, but no one has any answers. I haven't got any answers. The only answer I've got is, hang on, how do we get closer alignment with the EU? And I'm not talking about rejoining, because that ain't going to happen anytime soon. We're way off that. That ship has sailed a long time ago, and we're going to be waiting a very long time before it comes back to port. Unfortunately. I'm not saying I don't want to, because I do. I'm a realist. Unfortunately, those who put the cross in the wrong box aren't realists. No. All they are is fantasists. They were easily duped with sentiment. Sorry, but you are. Fools. Absolute fools. You allowed those with money, and some of them have got dual citizenships in France and other countries. You allowed those people to take advantage of you. Now, that's pretty much the definition of a fool. Because you let them do it again, and again, and again. Anyway, on a positive note, if you want to support the channel, there's a Patreon that buys coffee, links down below. But also, you see this field here? This field we are going to be planting up this year, this season. So, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be planting trees across that corner to there on this field. We've got the other fields as well to do. And then we've got this part over here is going to be planted right up. We're just going to leave a bit of a funnel in the middle so we don't lose our view over there. So there'll be like two large triangles of trees. And it's quite a large field that goes right down, not to this tree line, because the other tree, that's our field as well. So it's a lot of area, and there's a lot of trees. Now we're planting 1,000 trees on these 2 hectares of land. And if you want to be a part of that, there is a GoFundMe link down below where you can make a donation if you want. We're not saying how much, but on average around 20 quid. We can get a tree in the ground for about 20 quid. If you want to do that, we'll put a tree in the ground on your behalf. I'll also make a sign, some woodwork, you see. And I'll be done with the router, but more likely with the laser. And we'll put signs with the trees. It could be a memory of a loved one. It could be a name. It could be a present for somebody, a gift for Christmas. The world's your oyster, and it's not actually oyster. No, that's wrong, actually. The world's not your oyster anymore, is it? No, unfortunately. Anyway, links down below. So, it's time to go, I think. And for those of you wondering, my little Wally, he's a bit on the mend at the moment. I don't know if you can see him, but yeah, I'll bring him over here. He's had a really rough time these last few weeks. He has epilepsy, so he has a lot of fits, and he's had this new medication, and he couldn't walk after taking the medication. His back end kept giving up. But as you can see, he's thinking about mounting Pandora. So I think he's back, just about. He isn't quite himself yet, but he's I think he's back. So it's See, yes, he's got more medication he needs we've got to buy for him. Little sod. But yeah, he's getting very expensive. But you know, he's worth it. He really is. He's a lovely little boy. You know, he's just a bit slow at the moment. But you know, that's dogs, isn't it? You know, he's 14 years old, he'll be 15 very soon. So I think he's done pretty well, and he's had the life of Riley. He really has. He's ruled us big time. Anyway, it's time for me to go, so I can say toodaloo, you know. Toodaloo. And yes, I do care what goes on in the United Kingdom.